Hey, welcome back to Jamieson's Repair Shop. I want to do a little quick update on what's going on in the shop these days. Lots happening actually. As you can see behind me, I been getting the floor fixed up. That was all exposed aggregate in places. So now I patched it and now it's coated. Not epoxy, just concrete paint. So that's making the shop look good. You can barely see the poor old 65 convertible over there. But I need to get this done. There's a lot of reasons why. One major reason is that my wife decided she wanted to start a small business and she picked up an OMTech laser. So I'm going to spin you around and we'll show you the laser and we'll talk about a project that I'm going to do in this video that was made from this laser yesterday. So okay, just hold on and we'll spin her around and we'll take a look at this laser unit. All right, there it is, OMTech, 100 watt laser, CO2 laser. It does wood, glass and all that stuff. It won't etch metal and it won't cut metal. So that you need a fiber laser for that one or make provisions for it, but fiber lasers for that. This is for doing her projects, which is decorative stuff. And it works really nice. It's got a vent fan to the outside, which I put in. And she's got a laptop hooked to it and all that stuff, a little stand. It's really crowded in here right now, but we'll get it straightened out. Inside, it's got a fairly large bed. It'll take 28 inches by 20 inch piece of material. And you can see we've been cutting different things. So that's her puppy right there. Of course, I'm very interested in it as well, and I like how it works. It's one of the few things that we've bought. We did a little calibration on it. About 2 or 3 hours worth of setup time on this rig, not including hooking the fan up, and it's got its own water chiller. I should mention that because a lot of them you can just run out of a bucket with a pump, but we wanted an official, like more professional. That's what I'm looking for. So she bought the actual water chiller. No worrying about buckets of water and all that stuff. But it works really well. Like I was about to say, that's one of the few things that we brought out of the crate and had one day of setup and actually worked almost flawlessly, pretty much flawlessly ever since. My wife has industrial design. She does 3D design. So she's more than capable of doing her own stuff. And there's also tons and tons of designs that are available for purchase. And I'm going to show you one that she thought was a good purchase for $10. She bought the design of this paint can holder. So yesterday we whipped one up and that's just sitting there loose. It's not hooked together. So the idea of this is that you have a top and a bottom and then one centerpiece. But these you can just use the top and the bottom together, or you can keep adding centerpieces. So it's like modular. So they just slide in and hook over that spot there. So this one is not glued together and stapled together yet. And it's just scrap plywood. So it doesn't look the prettiest, but once it's painted, you'll never know the difference. But it's a pretty cool little thing. And I have so many paint cans. So this 3 section, obviously you can see it's 3 of 3, so 9 cans in one little spot, and I can add as many of these centerpieces as I want as long as they don't overload the top piece. And the top piece is held together with a keyhole, so you put right in your wall with some anchors. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to build that. I'm going to put that together, and I think that'll help a lot. We will most likely end up making a few more of these centerpieces, but it's pretty cool. So let's go on with it, and I'm going to take it all apart. I'm going to get a spot where I can lay it out, do some sanding on it, and then I'm going to glue the joints and then hit it with some brad nails, and then we'll go from there, see if I want to put a coat of paint on it or not. So before we go into assembling this and getting it ready for paint, I will cover a couple things that I built, or I did. I built this dust collector and had brand new filters in it when I started, and you can see It's doing its job. It has a 16-inch louvered fan. I can't go around the front and show you because the floor paint's wet. But I used, the filters are 20 by 24, and there's 6 of them, and a 20 by 20 on the end, furnace filters. Those were the most readily available and least expensive that I could find. And what's holding the furnace filters in on the sides are J-channel from vinyl siding. That's 1.25 inch gap, so that the 1-inch filters fit right in them. So 20 by 24 by 1 filters, 6 of them, and one 20 by 20, which I already had. Also, which I'm not finished yet, I put an exhaust fan in. Now, this won't get used much, but if you have smoke, you can flick it on. Smoke and, you know, some fine dust in the air, you could flick it on. It'll suck the air out really quick. You got to be careful. I am running a radiant heater here, and so there is a ductwork that's not hooked up right now for the intake, and I need to hook it back up, because if I start that fan, it'll pull back air back through the radiant heater and put it out. So that has to be finished before winter comes. Put the compressor outside, so it's out in the back here, and I have to build an enclosure for it. I have to do something with this welding lead. I think I'll run it out to a better spot. And then I have the air line, and I need to bring the air in from the compressor into this air line. All small jobs, but need to get done. So that's what I've been doing, plus working on the hardtop the odd time, mostly driving it, not working on it. But I really have to get back on this Thunderbird, this convertible. It's really bugging me that it's become just a storage space. And yeah, I want to get back on this. I want all this stuff done and working on this thing again before, I'm going to say before the middle of October. Maybe sooner if I can do it. A lot of stuff going on as well. My wife's mom is in the hospital again, so she's doing better, but there's been a lot of running to the hospital for her. And of course, like I said, the OMTech laser has been the new toy on the block, and we've been interested in that. Anyway, so let's get on this assembly of this rig, do some sanding, clean up the edges some, and get her glued together. All right, so I got my sander out with my disc. These are Diablo discs, I think they are. I think that's that feels like an 80 grit there. So, like I said before, this is all made. These parts are made from scrap from the crate that the laser came in. So it's got some staple holes and the sticker on it here, and then all I'm going to do is clean it up, and so I can relatively smooth for painting. Got my dust collector ready to go, so let's fire it up and let's do something. There we go. Got a quick paint job done on it. I just used that paint that I had in there that's got primer and everything right in it. This stuff right here. Get it on the right side, I don't know. And it seems to work quite well. It's called Fuzzy Moss. So I put in that. Fits in there nicely, this paint can. And I'll hang it up, and then I'll show you what it looks like hung up. There, I hung it on the pegboard just for now, just to give it a look, see how it sits. But I think when I mount it on the wall, I want to put it up so it's eye level, like up so you can see, because you can't really, the angle it is hard to read, but you can see the colors if you use your tops on. If you leave your tops on, you can see the colors. But that's it. That's what she looks like. I think it's a pretty good design. Like I said, my wife paid $10 for the design, and she bought it. She bought the design so she could actually resell. So she paid the guy, and everyone's happy. You got to support these people, otherwise this stuff disappears. And it's like YouTube. If you don't support the other content creators, they get frustrated and they stop making stuff. And then none of us have any good stuff. All we have is that garbage with the millions of views on it. Anyway, that's the paint can holder. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.